Abruzzo, Notes on Gastronomy. History and notes on gastronomy. The cuisine of Abruzzo has always been defined as Mediterranean, shaped by the economic and social history of the region, which is oriented towards the future and yet very much aware of its rich inheritance of the past as it is passed on in daily living. The old recipes still in use today are present in everyday meal preparation, as they are in the more elaborate banquets prepared for traditional ceremonies, religious holidays and special family gatherings. The panarda is the perfect example of this. In 1800, the writer Edoardo Scarfoglio gave this name to an old custom dating back to the 1600s in Aquila of celebrating special occasions with huge banquets featuring over 30 different courses. Another link to past traditions is the preparation of the virtus, the virtù, typical dish of the area in and around Teramo, which marked the passing of the seasons because it included all the leftovers from the end of the winter season, along with the fresh additions of spring, usually made with 7 dried legumes, 7 vegetables, 7 meat, 7 pasta, 7 condiments, and requiring 7 hours of cooking time. Nowadays, on May 1st, it is still common to be served this dish in local restaurants, and it is also sold by street vendors. The conviction that the cooking of Abruzzo was poor, that is, with little or no tradition, persisted for many years. History, however, will prove otherwise. In the year 1340, the Dukes of Acquaviva, Lords of Atri, were instrumental in spreading the use of buckwheat flour by being the first in Italy to grind flour using millstones. The local millers invented a new kind of pasta using a mixture of all the different flours left in the mill, called macarone alla molinare, a single long rope of pasta rolled up like a skein of wool and which is still eaten today. The sea and its products. The coastal cuisine is rich and flavored, offering fish soups called brodetti, the most famous being brodetto alla giuliese, alla pescarese and alla vastese. From the town of Vasto comes a time-honored dish called the scapece. The hills and its surroundings. The country cuisine typical of the hill area is characterized by the use of garden produce, vegetables being the main ingredients of raw and good preparations, eaten with fresh and pure meats, eggs, cheese and very flavorful condiments for pasta. In fact, it is in this area at Fara San Martino that the most famous pasta in the world is made. Abruzzo is known for its handmade pasta as well, particularly the guitar string, chitarra pasta, typically served with a meat ragu, mixed meats, lamb, veal, pork, chicken, turkey, with a lighter version, made with mixed chicken parts, livers, feet, coxcombs, and so on. Another typical product used extensively is farro, or spelt, a very healthy grain which does not need any fertilizers or chemical treatments of any kind, is rich in fiber, mineral salts and vitamins. It can be used as a whole grain for soups, and grilled, ground coarsely to make a kind of polenta, or ground fine as a flour to make bread, pasta and sweets. Meat and the cuisine of the mountains. Pork has always been a major part of the diet and traditionally all parts of the animal were used, even those non-edible parts which went into making soap. The meat is eaten fresh but is primarily consumed as a cured product, a salume to be eaten on year. The blood is also collected and with the addition of sugar and cocoa becomes sanguinaccio, thick and creamy to be spread on bread, a lovely substitute for chocolate. Other typical dishes are the chief and chaff, and of course la porchetta, whole suckling pig, well seasoned and roasted to perfection. The cuisine of the highlands has two main features, one being that there is a very limited use of tomato compared to other areas, and the other being that there are a variety of legumes grown in these areas. The lentils from Santo Stefano di Sessagno, the beans from Paganica, and the chickpeas from Navelli are especially famous. Other products worthy of note are the red garlic from Sulmona, the potatoes from Avezzano, the truffles and the prized red saffron from the Navelli Plateau. The mountain cuisine. The mountain cuisine has also been defined as poor not because it is lacking in creativity, but because the people were always poor, so poor that although they had rich resources such as lamb, rarely ate any of the meat. Traditionally, only mutton was cooked, and thus various dishes have been handed down, stewed in sauce, incapporchiato, chavarra mutton, al cottura o alla callara. Other more recent additions include lamb dishes such as agnello caqueve, roast lamb, stuffed head, and mozzarella. A few words must be said for the cuisine typical of Teramo, one of the best known in the world. On the first expedition to the moon in 1969, the crew ate turkey alla canzanese. Especially good are the crepes invented here, called scrippelle, and also the arrosticini, slim skewers of lamb or mutton, delicious grilled on a wood fire, known throughout the region. Dessert, wines and olive oils. Dessert feature almonds as one of the main ingredients because of its sizable production in Abruzzo. Almonds are ground and used in sweet breads such as the pane rozzo, rustic oat bread, so named by the Annunzio Carrozzo, and again the pan dell'orzo, beer bread from Scanno, and the pan ducale, duke's bread from Atri, once called pizza di mandorle and the favorite of the Acquaviva family. Almonds also appear in the soft chocolate torrone from L'Aquila as well as in other sweet confections such as the Sassi d'Abruzzo, il croccante and the confetti di Sulmona, which boast a tradition dating back to the 15th century when nuns began to make these adding flowers and wheat. Lastly, it must be noted that wine and olive oil production in Abruzzo has reached the highest levels of quality in recent years. The wine of special note are the Montepulciano d'Abruzzo DOC. This bean was mentioned for the first time in 18th century by Michele Dorcia, when national beans were classified, followed by other DOC wines, such as Trebbiano and Controguerra, and the more recent DOCG Colline Terramani. Interesting results are being obtained by the rediscovery of the old beans used traditional in the past, but which had almost disappeared, notably by Pecorino, De Passerina and the Moscato di Castiglione.